Today on the net, the Cuban blogosphere condemns the death of a political prisoner on hunger strike. The video of a fight in a bus has sparked controversy on the American web. And a Cambodian's campaign against anti-personnel mines. The Cuban dissident Orlando Zapata Tamayo died in prison on Tuesday at the age of 42. He had been on hunger strike for 85 days to protest against the prison conditions. The blogosphere is deeply moved by his death. In this interview conducted by the Cuban activist and blogger Yoani Sanchez, just several moments after Tamayo's death, his mother says that her son was killed by the Cuban government. She explains that after having tortured him, the authorities left him to die like an animal. My son's death was a premeditated murder. He was tortured throughout his entire imprisonment. As we see in these videos, many video bloggers and other Cuban human rights campaigners have paid tribute to Tamayo's battle. Here, the activist Oswaldo Payá hails his bravery and thanks him for giving his life to defend freedom of expression in Cuba. Deeply saddened by Tamayo's death, this Cuban web user appeals to his compatriots to take action. He believes the best way to honor the activist's memory would be for the Cuban people to stand up to the authorities and express their dissatisfaction with the current regime. And this blogger states that despite the mobilization of online activists, the situation in Cuba is not going to change anytime soon. He explains that Raul Castro denies any responsibility for Tamayo's death and even accuses the United States of being indirectly responsible. This amateur video, filmed in a bus in Oakland, California, has been watched around 4 million times since it was uploaded last week. We see a verbal altercation between two passengers, one black, one white, which degenerates into a violent fight. The brawl was provoked by an apparent racist remark made by the man web users now call Epic Beardman. The young black man who appears to start the fight got off with a broken nose. The video has spread over the American web like wildfire, sparking an avalanche of reactions. For some, this incident raises questions of security on public transport. But if these videos are anything to go by, most video bloggers are looking at the racist nature of this fight and often take sides with one of the parties. The two men have become internet celebrities. They were even invited to give their own version of events by a local radio station. In these interviews, available online. Meanwhile, the video of the fight continues to enjoy success on sharing sites. It has inspired many parodies. Here, for example, the violent scene has been turned into a video game.
Flawless victory.
And this animated version looks over the verbal argument between the two men before they come to blows.
Hey, what you asking about? Well, how much do you charge to spit shine my shoes?
Tim Burton's new film, Alice in Wonderland, is one of this year's most anticipated blockbusters. And last week, the American director organised an event to present the film to his fans. The event was broadcasted live on the web, and then several extracts from the film were unveiled on major sharing sites. Enough to keep the fans going whilst they wait for the official cinema release on the 5th of March in the United States.
Alice, you're terribly late, you know.
Meedan.net hopes to improve dialogue between the Western and Arab worlds by breaking down the language barriers. This new information site was launched this week. Thanks to a handful of volunteers, this portal offers translations of Arabic press articles to English and vice versa. On the discussion forum, an automatic translation system should allow web users who speak these languages to communicate in near to real time. Aki Ra was 10 years old when he was forced to enroll into the Khmer Rouge Army in Cambodia. After having laid down his weapons in the beginning of the 1990s, he became a deminer and travelled the country looking for these explosive devices, which he knows like the back of his hand. We see him here at work, defusing an anti-personnel mine, using only a penknife. Cambodia remains to this day one of the countries most affected by this scourge, with hundreds of thousands, even millions of mines still hidden in its ground.
Tic-tac, tic-tac.